Next, I would like to call upon the Head of Engineering Campus Hiring of Wipro, Mr. Vishwanathan, sir.
Respected Shivakumar, Anbu, and rest of the organizing team of ICTACT, fellow speakers, my dear placement directors, friends, colleagues from the industry. So, good morning to all of you. Good morning. Yeah, little more energy. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Shiva and Anbu for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be here. It's always a nice feeling to meet all of you under one roof. Otherwise, it takes probably months for me to meet each one of you. So a forum like this gives a great opportunity to connect with each one of you on a single roof. And it's always a nice feeling to meet all of you, a lot of known faces. And what I like to speak is, I missed the first session. First I like to start with a disclaimer that, some thoughts could be repetitive. Most of us are working in the same industry. And after listening to Vasu, I thought, I think we can stop the session with Vasu's speech. He was extremely superb in terms of covering most of the aspects. But still, I need to do some justice in terms of coming all the way here. First of all, what I like to speak is 3-4 things. One is to give a context in terms of where are we today from an overall market perspective. And second is some of the trends, what we are seeing from a Wipro perspective. And third is some messages in terms of what can be the focus area for people like you to take away. I always start with this notion that, placement officers play an extremely important role. It's rightly called the bridge. You all play an important role like a bridge in terms of connecting the industry and to your management and to the largest student fraternity. So the way I see it, I'm not reaching out to 300 people here who are represent different colleges. I am trying to reach a multiplier of, say, at least 400 students in each year of a college. So you can put a multiplier as to the message can reach to so many X number of students. The first thing is we are living in exciting times. In terms of there are more opportunities today than what I would have seen in my career. I've spent more than 16 years in this recruitment field. And today, for the right person, there are definitely plenty of opportunities today which were not even there some time back. So we are living in exciting times. As our Prime Minister always talks about this demographic dividend, right? So I was going through some data points yesterday. So if you look at 2020, the average age of an Indian will be around 29 years, where in China it will be 39. And some of the developed countries in Europe, it will be almost 45 years. And if you look at the population, we contribute to almost 16% of the world population today, and slightly less than 5% of the GDP of the overall world. So what it means is, we have potential to create employment not only for India, but for across the world. We have the potential to create good employment, which not only helps our country to achieve whatever rate of growth which we want to achieve, but from across the world perspective, we can be a supplier of talent. That's one side of the story in terms of, but the critical thing is it can be a demographic dividend or it can become a curse if we don't do the right things today. Initiatives like this in terms of bringing you all together, trying to tell you in terms of what is the expectation, how some of the trends that's happening is some of the great initiatives that's been taken by government to ensure that, we make the right steps to ensure that it becomes a dividend. And I'm sure all of you in all seriousness have come here to get to learn and to leverage and to take it back to your campuses and ensure that it becomes a dividend. So we are, again to start, we are in exciting times. That's the first message which I want to leave with you guys, that we have more opportunities today. Some of the initiatives say it's a Make in India or a Startup India. Some of those things are extremely nice. And I'm sure over a period of time, it will create huge employment opportunities for students. And true from a services, the IT industry, the services context, the business dynamics are definitely changing. I totally agree with Vasu in terms of when I started recruitment, the kind of skills that was expected to what is the thing that's happening today. There is a sea shift in terms of what we are expecting from colleges and students. So some of the key trends, is more or less similar to what, Vasu was mentioning. The first thing which I see is, over a period of time, this volume-based hiring will definitely shift towards value-based hiring. Today, the focus is on hiring volumes. But slowly, it may be, I don't want to put a year thing, it will happen in 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year, whatever time frame. The shift is definitely happening. In terms of companies like Wipro will start looking at more employable. So each of us need to really think what is that unique differentiator or value which we can give to our students. The student is paying a lot of money and spending his time of 4 years in engineering. So unless we get to the business of providing value to your own students, it will be really, really tough to survive in the marketplace. Already we are in a marketplace where there is a clear distinction between the good and the bad. Today it's everybody in the world or everybody understands what is a good college, what is not so good college, which is where. Because there's so much of information available, there's so much of social media and a whole lot of other stuff. So unless institutions take measures to move gradually from one step progressively to the next step, even survival becomes really, really tough. I interact with colleges across the country. Some of the stories in some of the states are really, really sad. And a lot of colleges are closing down because they are not able to, in terms of move up or create that value in their students. So it's very important that each of you, in your own way, understand and see how is that you can create a value which will make it a compulsory value proposition for companies to not visit your college. In terms of to say no to your college, they should think twice that why I should not go to that college because they have such a wonderful value proposition. So that's the first thing which I like to say for all of you, that understand in your way what is that unique differentiator or value which you can create in your students, which will make it attractive for companies like us to come and hire from you. The second shift is fit for purpose hiring. That's what we call in Wipro in terms of hiring people for specific job roles. That's again a shift that's happening. We want to earmark students at the time of hiring itself that these students will be doing these set of jobs. That's the second trend which we are seeing. And more in future, we will see this as a important yardstick in terms of, because each of the domain requires a specific skill set. So that's something which we started this year in terms of specific hiring for specific job roles. And as we move forward, this is another trend which we definitely see, which is going to happen in terms of people getting earmarked for specific job roles. And the third thing which we are seeing is, the broad-based hiring. Typically, if you look at years, engineering was primarily the talent pool which most of the service organizations have been trying to attract. What we are seeing as a trend, of course, we've been hiring a lot of arts and science students. I was very happy to see some of the arts and science college placement officers also being here. So today there are more opportunities for arts and science students in different fields. So Wipro, we've been hiring a lot of science graduates for a program called Ways and Vista. Similarly, this year we started hiring BCom and BBA graduates for some of the functional roles in ERP. We are training them in Oracle or SAP for functional ERP consulting roles. So what is happening is, the domain part is also becoming equally important. So it's not that engineers, value will come down or number of opportunities will come down. But what we are seeing as a trend is more and more specific job roles will get created. Today it's BCom, BBA. Today we go to some of the arts colleges, JJ College of Arts, and try to hire some designers from those kind of courses. I would have never thought I'll go to these kind of colleges to hire talent for the IT industry. So this broad basing of talent is definitely happening. Some of the new courses are getting more focused. The another broad shift that's happening is programming ability. Vasu was briefly mentioning about contest-based hiring. So again, the reason we are doing all these contests is one, to ensure that the students understand the importance of programming. And again, I don't want to define a time frame, but something that's going to really happen soon is, the entire hiring will shift towards hiring talent with programming knowledge. So that's something which is gaining a lot of importance. I have been resisting my internal businesses that it's tough to get from the market good programmers. So if we make it part of the process, we may not be able to meet our numbers, but it's just a matter of time where that will become an essential quality for students to succeed in the placements. The programming ability, the ability to write some 10, 15 lines of code becomes extremely important. So to sum up, in terms of some of the trends which we see is, there is a definite shift from hiring for aptitude and attitude towards hiring for skill-based hiring. It's a matter of time that where skills will become more important. It doesn't mean the basics are not required, but like value-added skills will definitely play an important role. So programming skills is one quality which I stress in most of the meets where I have an opportunity to meet all of you. We need to get that behavior of writing codes. Maybe he'll be doing testing or infrastructure or whatever down the line, but ability to write 10, 15 lines of code in any programming language is becoming extremely important for students to become employable. So programming ability is something which we need to really focus. And some of the other nice to have niche skills, domain skills, we can talk about a lot of things. So as a focus area, what are some of the things which I like, from a Wipro standpoint, some of you to really take is, basics are still important. There will be a lot of things you will be hearing today and tomorrow, that buzzwords, digital, and whole lot of other stuff. But the fundamental, the basics are still very, very important. Still I feel that the aptitude performance in, for example, most of you are from Tamil Nadu, there is a huge scope for improvement in aptitude performance itself. The basics in terms of aptitude performance, the communication skill is still required. There are a lot of add-ons which is coming up, but unless the basics are there, I'm not touching upon the basics because I'm sure all of you know in terms of what this industry expects, since there have been multiple forums debating on this. But at the cost of focusing on a lot of new things, we shouldn't let go on the basics. That's very important, that we need to have the basics right. Communication, absolutely no compromise, whether the ability to speak or ability to write, it's extremely important. And the second thing which you need to encourage your students is teamwork. Vasu was mentioning about the global workforce. One of the, it's not only interacting with global customers across the world, it's all about interacting with, people from a different state. We are so confined to our own limitations that even somebody from north or somebody from east comes, we are very hesitant to speak, and we are more comfortable talking in local languages. So those are, the ability to work in teams, you should encourage. You should encourage your students to take up a lot of projects, a lot of symposium, a lot of initiatives where they get the habit of working in teams right in the college level. And the third thing which we should definitely encourage is innovation. Today, some of the, the world-class, products and services which are getting developed anywhere in the world, a lot of things happens at the campus level. One is innovation, extremely important. And fourth is, one of the professor was mentioning, incubation, right? So in your own way, you should see how we can have some of your brighter students develop their own products. Entrepreneurship, extremely important today. It's not only industries creating employment. If we can create our own employment, nothing like that. We can't expect the government and other people to always step in and do things. we need to do whatever is possible from our own way. So we need to see how we can create that employment opportunities within our own campuses. I know of a lot of colleges having a full-fledged entrepreneurship development cell and encouraging the students to, sort of develop small things. So that behavior has to definitely be encouraged more large numbers. And lastly, of course, value system. We need to have a sense of value system among our students. That's something which is missing today in some of our kids, when they come to campuses like ours. Having the right value system, having the right role models is again something which at the college level we need to definitely institutionalize, because these are all the future of our country, and they need to have the correct values in terms of integrity and doing the right things, because they are the future of our country, and college is the best place where we need to ensure that they get the right values, and they also not only do some things for themselves, but also do something for the larger interest of the country. So these are some of the thoughts. In any case, we'll have a Q&A session where we can take up some of the questions which you may have. Once again, I'd like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity, and I wish each one of you the very best in your endeavors. Thank you.